Now, without further ado, we need to talk about the elephant in the room. And by the elephant in the room, I mean the donkey in the White House.
Which
this
elephant?
Dude,
to be polite, right?
To be polite. Well, he's a Democrat, so I can say donkey. And it's not, I'm not demeaning anybody by saying that. I hope you're not taking offense, listeners. But basically what I want to point out is we've got a guy that just let the worst cyber attacker we've ever dealt with as a country, who happens to be a Russian cyber attacker, let him out of prison like 6-7 months ago. And so then today has the nerve to go on the news and be like, hey, everybody, look here, bud. Cyber attack's a problem now, so watch out. Good luck and stuff. Hope you're okay. And oh, by the way, everybody needs to switch to electric vehicles. I'm like, wait a minute. Cyber attack's freed. You want everyone to move to electric vehicles. You're taking away all the coal and the oil and everything else, so there's nothing to power the vehicles. And then the cyber attack guy is out and available. And what if he takes down sections of the grid?
Oh, and by the way,
kidding me?
The darkest days are ahead of us still. You know, that came out of his mouth. That's pretty incredible.
The man with the plan is to destroy everything and replace it with the whole one world order. So it's just absolute ridiculousness. And I want to hear your take on it. I mean,
I was listening.
I'm kind of beside myself. So yeah.
Well, I was listening to a thing. I think we can maybe share the screen here in a minute, but I was listening to a recording by Jim Jordan, and where he was going off saying, look, you guys literally are claiming that there's going to be a cyber attack coming. And you just let the guy who's the #1 hacker, cyber attacker for Russia go from apparently he was in, I don't know where he was, but he was in our control, and they let him go. And Jim Jordan's like, what did we get for that? What do we get in return for that? And number one, number two, Nothing. He's like, and where's our Department of Justice? Oh yeah, that's right. They're tagging moms and dads at parent-teacher conferences and school board meetings. So they're not even worried. Like, we're the #1 threat we're supposed to be aware of, according to Biden recently, is the cyber attack from Russia. He let the guy go, who's probably like, no wonder. Like, I'm thinking to myself, yeah, that's why he knows there's going to be a cyber attack, because he just let the guy go who's going to do it.
It's not just not just incompetence, if you ask me.
It's planned. Well, here's a crazy theory that actually a TikToker shared with me yesterday on our TikTok thread. I was talking about cyber attacks. He responded with, well, I think what's going to happen is now that Hunter Biden's laptop's out, they're going to start cyber attacking to make it so they can't find it again. Like, eliminate that threat, eliminate the threat of our government, everyone knowing for sure what's going on. And I'm like, that's really interesting. Take down portions of the grid or whatever they need to do to eliminate that. I mean, cyber attacks, a lot of people worry about the grid as the #1 issue with it, right? That's my biggest concern. I think the more plausible concerns are they could take out our banking, right? And it doesn't have to be the whole network, just a couple of the different banks go down, and those people are screwed for a little while, right? Mm-hmm. If they can take down accounts for different groups. In 2016, I think, or 2014, one of the best hackers that I've heard of was a 16-year-old kid in the UK. Did you guys ever hear about that kid? He just got he just got put in jail in 2018. Like, well, he was in jail the whole time, but he just got convicted in 2018. So he got into the CIA, he got into the IRS, and he got into one other 3-lettered organization. And I'm like, dude, you're 16. And what's crazy is they kept saying they thought it was bots, but it was the kid typing so fast. They'd never seen a person type that fast and maneuver around everything they were trying to put up.
Wow.
I'm like, you don't have to worry for me, because I can't even type correctly, let alone fast. And so, you know, I'm not a threat, but like, what are people doing? Like, that's those types of things where it could just be some jackwagon out there having a good time thinking this is hilarious, and he could turn off somebody's banking. He could turn off access to everybody's Gmail, right? You could turn off access to everybody's Amazon accounts, or hack Amazon, and all of a sudden everyone's getting weird stuff shipped to them, and Amazon's not making money, and we're all happy, right? But who knows? I don't know.
And,
but there's so many
of
different things that could happen with cyber attacks.
And there's plenty of speculation that there are backdoors built into all these software systems that the government use, and even into our system, our PCs and even TVs and everything we use, that there are backdoors that they could be easily hacked. It's already built in. So yeah, as part of the cyber attack, the company I work for was hacked beginning of last year or so. And we were down for almost a week. Emails and everything I use to do my business on, quotations and everything. And it was kind of a nice little break. I wasn't able to do anything, right? Couldn't make any sales or anything like that. And we did a lot of things with paper. So, and we've come from, when I first started with the company, we were doing a lot with paper. We were just barely getting onto all online, and now everything is online. So, most companies are online, and that's where I think the big problem is if you don't have a backup way to run your business, you're going to go downhill really quick. But like you said, Scott, is that the biggest concern for me with the cyber attack is taking the grid down. I would look forward to it. It's like being a kid, power goes out, yay, pull the flashlights out, when we all get together and have a good time. But when it comes to trying to do your work, and so many people working paycheck to paycheck or living paycheck to paycheck. If they can't work for a couple of days, man, their budget is out the window, to put it mildly. And so that's my biggest concern is the grid going down for an extended period of time.
Well, what's crazy is 58% of small businesses, if they're hit with a cyber attack, it will end their business, because they don't have systems in place to be able to stop things. And I think that's where a lot of people think cyber attack, oh, big, huge things. It's like all the little things are super destructive. Like you're not just ending a small business, you're ending like income for a bunch of little families, like completely devastating those families. And if it's if it's a wide enough spread where it affects like 20,000 businesses, that's huge.
Well, even how fragile our financial system is right now, if just all these little pieces that are coming apart, they're falling apart, and that's, I think, part of the plan. If you look at the picture as a whole, you can see every little place where they're attacking here and there, which don't seem to connect, but they all add up into one aggregate that they are damaging our financial condition, our economy, GDP, whatever you want to call it, but it all adds up, and it can be difficult to see.
Yep. Another big thing is you mentioned earlier, Scott, about the Hunter Biden laptop, and I was listening to Senator Gates going off on the FBI head of cyber, and they asked him this question: "Do you know where the Hunter Biden laptop is?" And the guy was like, "I'm not. I don't. That's not in my purview, my responsibility to know where that laptop is." And I'm just thinking to myself, if the FBI doesn't know where it is, and it's not in their purview, what the heck is in their purview? But to Shane's point, that you start getting some of these things going, and you start seeing some of the internal battles that this could create. Like cyber attacks could literally create. One of the things that we've seen was I don't want to get into all the details of the election, but if the election swung one way or the other, I mean, how much internal strife do we have in America right now trying to figure out what was really going on in that election? And that was all supposedly part of that was that whole attack, that digital attack, that cyber attack. So cyber attacks can bring the grid down. Cyber attacks can destroy businesses, which will destroy our economy. And cyber attacks can pit people against each other. And that pitting of people against each other is what creates a civil war potentially. And nowhere in the history, the last civil war that we had was based on some of the same things that I'm seeing in society today. And we didn't have digital. The last one didn't have all the sophistication we have. So I'm like, either it's going to get worse and it's going to be worse, or we're going to somehow figure it out and not have to jump into it. But at the same time, either way, we need to be ready. We need to be ready for whichever way it goes.